Did we lose? It is Fatuma. Can we move Fatuma over, please? And then we'll get started.
Okay, so that would be, how do I do that? Okay.
You hover by her name, and then you should see a button that says promote to panelist.
I don't see where to go for that. Let me see, just a second. Hmm.
Are you considered a host? Yeah, you're the host.
Yeah, I am a host, but I can't
So
find
when
where
you're
that,
in attendees and you see Fatuma's name,
I don't see the attendees. That's why I was like, I don't know where to find that.
oh, um, at the bottom of your screen, do you see participants? It should say participants and then a little 4.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Now I have to click harder. Okay, so
And then you should be able
attend
to click
is,
on
yeah.
attendees. Yeah. And then we're coming for you, Fatuma. Hold on. Okay, beautiful. So I would like to call, oh, we're not recording, or are we? Okay, we are. Great. So I would like to call this meeting to order. This is the Public and Legislative Affairs Committee. It is June 22nd at 7:34 p.m. I am Sarah Lentz, chair of this committee and chair of the board. We also have board member Sautel here, board member Noor, and Dr. Valenzuela. And tonight we're circling back to a piece of our agenda that we didn't get to last time. And then we have a couple other items that are more looking forward. But I wanted to just see if there was any public comment first. I don't see any attendees here. Um, but we'll just give it another beat or so, just in case. Okay, I'll go ahead and close public comment. And then Dr. Valenzuela, I'll pass it over to you to look at the numbers from the engagement sessions from last.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to, I haven't done this. That's why I try and do all of the sharing of the
That's
slides.
all right. We'll walk you through it. It's okay.
So, I have the slides, but I don't know which one do I do?
So if you use the share button at the bottom with the
Yeah,
arrow,
presenter? No. Yeah, I got that.
and then you should be able to choose either an application window or your whole entire screen.
Okay.
So I usually try to do an application so I don't accidentally share things.
No, it's not much. Mhm. Which one? Do it again. Hmm. I don't understand where I can find my documents.
Do you have them open on your desktop?
Yep, it is here.
Um, and
Okay.
when you hit the share button, Do
And
you
then when I
see
share the
them at all?
it's the share settings, right?
No, so the share button down at the bottom of your screen,
Share
it
screen.
yes. No, so click on the whole button, not just the arrow that goes up.
Oh, okay.
And then you should get a big screen.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I will,
You should be able to scroll down and find your document there.
it's it's not showing.
It's not showing.
Let me see,
Um,
go to advanced. Maybe it does. No, it doesn't say that. Screen. I don't know why it is doing it. Can I share it with you?
yeah,
Or okay.
yeah,
I think probably that's the best way to do it is I'll
yeah.
share the slide with you. Okay. Just share that. And then I'll also share the schedule.
Great. It's coming. Okay. Do you
You
want me
want
to
to click
show
on
it
the
the slideshow?
slideshow? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, you just let me know when to move.
Yeah. So this is just the sessions that we had for last year. I divided it up into two semesters, one in the fall and one in the winter schedules for family and community engagement sessions. Yeah. Next slide, please. So I'll start first with the parent university schedules that we had. So there were a total of 424 parents participated in our parent university sessions in the fall. We had a number of sessions. There's about 9 sessions here that started in August and then all the way to December, ending with special ed. We had the college information night is a popular one. We had 111 people who participated in that online um, um, uh, information session. And then we also had the high school preference night. The virtual one was also a hit with 75 people. And then we had a session as part of our Preventing Homelessness grant. We had a housing support workshop that were attended by 64 families. So all in all, the fall sessions were very, very busy. So next slide. And these are just some of the photos these were the special ed parent U sessions. And then in the spring, there were 306 parents who participated. and it was stopped by the gubernatorial candidate forum that we had, and then and middle school engagement sessions. So we had two sessions of that, one virtual and one in person. And then, of course, the pre-K orientation that was also virtual. I think that, it's a little tough to do something because of the winter weather that we had. It was really a session that is, not as well attended as the fall one. But we also had a lot of sessions then. These are just some of the photos from the gubernatorial session. And then for the community engagements with the board, the fall sessions were attended by 73 individuals, and all happened in the fall, um, including, in-person and virtual sessions. There were two virtual sessions, one for staff, one for families, and then we had, multilingual families as well that happened in the morning.
Hmm.
Next slide. And then in the spring, there were a lot more families who participated in the sessions. And it was really focused on the school budget mostly. And of course, there were also some questions related to the middle school resolution. So we had, again, combination of in-person and virtual sessions in the spring. And
Hold
so
on.
in total, there were a combination of parent U and fall board engagement. We had about 888
Wow.
um, parents who participated, families who participated in the session.
Hold on. Am I out of slides or just
Yeah,
my
I think that's it.
okay. I was
Yeah.
like my computer might
So we had, I mean, considering how many we put on, I think that that was a very good number in terms of attendance.
that's really helpful to see. Does anybody have questions for um, Dr. Valenzuela? I'm going to stop sharing just so we can see everybody.
Yeah, yeah, I have
Go ahead.
questions. This is just us. I didn't raise my hand. Uh, Grace, how do you pick the topics for Parent University?
Some of them are driven by district, what we want to, information that we want to share out, like the new SEL curriculum, for instance. Um, and you know, there's always orientation about some, pre-K and preference night. We always do something. So there are the standards that we always do all the time. We really do not have much room for new sessions. The special ed one is driven by parents both and staff and parents, for instance. So that's one is like requested. The housing one is requested by families as well. So there are sessions that are requested by staff, and there are sections by administration, and the other sessions are also requested by parents.
I'm mostly looking ahead to um, November or
Yes.
or whenever we get the various proposals for middle school structures. And I wonder if that's something that will be handled through Parent University or if
Those
the
are engagements that we will do, and we will account for it in terms of family engagement, and that's scheduled for October.
October.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we don't have the specific dates yet for that, waiting for the middle school, um, the committee, to come up with the dates, for that, but that's what we're looking at, is looking at end of September, early October before we hit conferences.
Makes sense. Thanks.
And Grace, I know that, and maybe you were recording, but we didn't share it within this committee, but do you have any sense of how this might compare to last year?
Oh, I think we had more people this year.
Anecdotally, it felt like that, but I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
yeah,
We had actually a very robust and engagement this year, and our sessions are really, really active.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. And I'm just glad that we now, it seems like we're in good routine. So I'm hopeful that we can continue to measure to see
Hmm.
if engagement is increasing or decreasing or staying the same.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think yeah, I think that number one, we had a lot of issues that people want to participate in. Those are always the drivers, the
Yeah.
topics that we choose. So next year we're looking at, interesting topics related to screen and the brain, those kinds of things that are trending topics that parents are interested in.
Yeah, that's definitely the one that I've heard the most is just around AI and continued
Yes, yes,
tech use outside of cell phones
right.
for kids and how to support around that.
Yeah, and that was brought up in one of the sessions, I think, that you had in one of the engagement sessions that we had.
Mhm.
So those are also the things that when I attend those sessions, I listen to what parents are thinking about, and then, think about what kind of, sessions we might be putting on for them. It's also an education for us.
Yeah, yeah. Any other questions, Jane or Fatuma? Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing that, Grace, and compiling that. I think that is really exciting to see. Like, I feel in my experience that we were able to have really good and thoughtful conversations with folks. And I'm just looking forward to iterating on that for this coming up school year. Um, and then before we think about this coming school year, I just wanted to um, share again the goals that we decided on through this committee at the beginning of the year, and I think we did a uh, pretty good job on them. So we had to develop a measurement process to track engagement with the goal of increasing the number of community members engaging in the fall and spring. So by Grace's presentation, I think that we did that and we'll build on that. Increase the presence and reach of district social media. That wasn't something that we took on head on, but I don't know, Grace, if you want to speak to anything that you might know on that area.
I think the 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 social media is busy as well, and we ride also in the coattails of our schools that have very we tag each other, so then it really increase our presence that way.
Yeah. Yeah. From what I've seen, there has been a lot of engagement, especially when we're able to do like short videos or, pictures
Hmm.
of cool things happening in the district. So we can continue to think about that in the fall if that still feels important to people. Around legislative engagement, I think we did a lot of work around this, developing deeper relationships with city, state, and federal representatives, which I know will continue next year as well, developing a deeper understanding of the legislative process in Maine. I think we had a decent learning curve this past year, but feel proud of our work. Developing a relationship with MSMA policy work. So I have independently done that with Eric and Robbie at MSMA and have been going to the monthly meetings that that they hold with other school board members across the state. And we'll continue to build those relationships. Uh, continue to follow and give feedback on the APS formula. The superintendent was able to be in those work sessions. Every time they happened, we were working directly with legislators outside of those sessions. And we did see, some good wins for Portland. This will definitely continue next year because special education, transportation, and the not the regional adjustment, but the weighting, I think are all three areas that still need to continue to be worked on. And I think in general, like, last year we were getting funded at about 17% of our total budget from the state. And as we know, the state funds education overall in the state of Maine at 55%. So there's still a really big gap there for us to potentially work on. And then a communication plan for informing our community on advocacy issues. I think that kind of like started and stopped a little bit, and I think we'll continue to do that as we get better. I don't know, Grace, if there's anything you would add to that legislative engagement.
I
Uh,
actually think that we have a very small but very active group of people who are really engaged in advocacy issues. And so I think they are the ones that carry the torch to the other parents who may not be available to attend all the sessions that we did on advocacy. It will continue and we will continue that work next year. And I think that we were able to give a little teaser to the students at during high school with a gubernatorial forum. And we have a plan. I've already met with the teacher who does the government and civics class there, who's very excited. So we have a plan on working on legislative bills that I had spoken with you about, Sarah. So we will do that with parents and we will do that with students as well.
yeah,
And it will be fun, actually. I think that it will be a fun work that we will try attempt to do all of that this first half of the and through December. And one of the things I have to add is that advocacy related to the preventing homelessness. Um,
yeah,
we there was an allotment of $1 million, and now that's an allotment of 2 million instead of one. So we just submitted the proposal on Friday for
that's great to
that same thing that we had um, last year that we got over $800,000. So we submitted that proposal on Friday. The
hear.
deadline was today.
Wonderful. That's really great. And I do think something that wasn't named in these goals, but happened over the course of this last year is just around building um, that group of parents and community members who really want to take this up and support us in Augusta. I mean, we had multiple people giving testimony. There were even people that went to give testimony in person this past year on behalf of the Portland Public Schools. So I do think that getting to do that again the second time around, I think there's just a ton of potential there that we haven't quite been able to coordinate yet. But I'm excited to see what could happen if we are. Yeah, so I'm excited about that too. And being able to think about how to work on policy with kids, like that is awesome. And they are just ready for it. So excited to think about that as well. Um, Jane, did you come back on screen because you had a question or you wanted to say? Okay, I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make space for you if that was the case.
No, I had a kitten emergency, so I was
I
scrambling and you
appreciate
didn't need to see me doing that.
I appreciate all the kitten content that's going to come our way. Um, any questions around that? Okay, so then I think we can move on to the draft of the calendar for this year. Grace, are you ready for me to show that?
Hmm.
Okay, let me just find the right. Right, let me zoom in a little bit here. And Grace, you can walk us through maybe what we're seeing.
So again, this is also divided by fall and spring schedule. So for the fall schedule, I put in the fall district meetings with our city councilors. And so because I don't know when they don't have that schedule yet, so it's a TBD. And the way that they run it is meeting by district. So that's what I have.
Great.
And then in the next one is the student sessions. Principals have already signed up. These two schools have signed up already for their dates. So I put that there. We agreed to do high school in the fall and middle school in the spring. So you're only seeing high schools here.
Great. And these are already on the same day, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's back to back. They always coordinate the meetings there. And then the engagement session with the community. So we have the multilingual one again at Woodford's, and we have sessions at Rowe Elementary School. I should order this by the time. So I have a virtual session at noon, and then another virtual session for staff, and then the in-person one on 6 o'clock at Rowe. So that's what I have. And then I haven't the this is already going into conference season. The latter half of October is already conference season, so we don't have a lot of choices. So Lincoln Middle School is the in-person one on the 20th.
Yeah.
And I also put down the schedule here for the fall winter for the breakfast with the delegation. So we
Beautiful.
just we don't forget to put that on the calendar as well.
That is wonderful. Thoughts and questions or feedback around this?
Uh, my only feedback is that um, an hour may not be enough with the staff, especially when we do start getting into talking about middle school. Um,
So are we looking at an hour and a half?
yeah, or
Maybe an
just
hour and 15, because there will be additional middle school
Sessions.
sessions. Um,
yeah. Didn't we have? I mean, we had more staff sessions this past year, didn't we? Or
We
yeah,
had we had yes, for particularly for the budget. Yeah, we had one in person and one virtual.
that's all we
and
had this year.
Yeah, for
well,
the budget.
and then superintendent goes to each school and invites board members to come along if they want to, but that is hosted by the superintendent. And I don't know if those are going to be open to board members this year. I think we're trying to kind of like condense a little bit um, in terms of just all the meetings that happen in the fall.
We will have just I just want to note Miss Hotel that the middle school will have its own sessions.
My only concern is having three on one day.
Okay.
And we don't have the draft of the board calendar yet. And so just thinking about if that is also a committee meeting day, that's going to be a lot of like, I don't think that I would be able to get to all three of those meetings. And so I don't know, Jane, in terms of your availability, are those Mondays? Am I making that up?
No, they're Thursdays.
They're Thursdays. Okay.
Think so. October 15 is a Thursday. So I was thinking that there's nothing on Thursdays
Okay.
for
Yeah.
committee. And that's also not a board meeting night.
Yes. Okay. I was thinking it was Monday when I
I
was looking
mean,
at it, and so that's why
yeah.
I was a little bit overwhelmed. But Jane, what's your Thursday like in general?
Uh, it's pretty open generally.
Okay.
So should I adjust the time to an hour and 15?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, we're also trying to think about like what is the information that we're um giving out. So we'll have like 3 or 4 slides to start the meeting with about information that we want to make sure that all these groups have.
I have set up to always 2 hours for multilingual because of interpretation.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's great.
So I don't have the dates yet for spring, but
That's okay.
that is what we have for the fall at this time.
Great. Um,
It seems like the calendar is a little bit more breathable. That you can breathe. It's not as very long and, numerous days for meetings.
yeah. Um, I'm just thinking about in like pre-budget, like I wonder if there is worth doing, and I don't want to add extra, but just like in early December, like the budget process or something. Because I mean I am speaking for myself here, but I think the budget process this year felt extra, and this is the language I've heard from the community. It felt more like the Hunger Games than it has in past years, in the way that we were, pitting ourselves against each other. And I just wonder if with further upfront information, if we'd be able to maybe change that a little bit. I don't have a fully formed thought about what that looks like yet. And I know that we do like the budget forums within the board calendar, but that's just the only other thing that I have been like thinking about. How do we how do we set better expectations for how we can engage in the budget process in a way that is not so oppositional to ourselves?
I think you may be onto something there, Chair Lentz, because it's also an election year. I'm trying to figure out how we can take advantage of that when people are tuning into politics of things, and we
Yeah,
really need to think about it.
yeah,
And so that's not a bad idea in my mind. I think we really need to take advantage of the opportunity, except that November 3rd is so early.
yeah. November 3rd is early. Yeah,
Um, so it's an early, election season. So, but that is something, so it will be really crowded with a lot of things. So, but that's something that to think about, you know, um, uh, so we will know very quickly who our
yeah,
elected officials are. And there may be something that, I don't know, that you may want to host as a board.
yeah. So maybe we add a like potential early December date onto here.
Okay.
Jane and Fatuma, do you have thoughts about this?
Are you, so you're, um, an election year because you're thinking about board openings?
Oh, I was not thinking of the board. I'm thinking more of the
State.
legislators.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it, but I will.
Mhm. Also, I haven't looked up yet when bills are due by in this next session. They may not have even released it yet, but that also um, could impact when we want to have that conversation.
So we were planning on, I think our backwards planning is doing something about the draft policy recommendations by the kids and the parents will be in December.
Okay.
because I was thinking that probably that's when they're putting together their bills. And because we have an early election, so people are going to be thinking about what am I going to propose.
Yeah.
So we can quickly take advantage of that right after Thanksgiving. That's what my thinking was for the
Yeah.
exhibition. So it will be a community in my mind. I was imagining a community engagement where kids will present their bills and we invite all our legislators um and then parents will be doing the same thing. So we could do something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe let's put a placeholder in that and I'll think about it a little bit more and then we can come back to it in August. That still gives us enough time to get it on the calendar with a lot of advance notice. Does that work for you, Grace?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. Yes,
awesome.
absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else about the proposed calendar? Okay. Um, Then the last thing that I just wanted to talk about was just the timing of this meeting in the fall. So, this year all of our committees met twice a month on Mondays, and they were concurrent. So two committees ha happened, and then two more committees happened. And feedback from staff, I think, was and board members. I have heard this was a lot and a lot of. It didn't feel like we quite always had enough space to really reflect and prepare. And so the idea is I've asked all committee heads to talk with their committee, both about the scheduling, like when it would happen during the weeks, and then also the frequency to which the committee is meeting. And so I think one, like I think when session is happening, that meeting on a weekly basis for 30 minutes makes sense so that we can track the bills. But I'd be curious to hear from folks if you think it makes sense to continue to meet twice a month, or if you feel like this is a committee that could meet once a month and do all the other things that we do.
Um, are committee assignments apt to change?
No, they don't have to change, and I don't anticipate them changing. And they will likely shift after elections, but that wouldn't happen until December. So I think that we should continue as is. I've not communicated this fully with the board, but I think we should just continue as is until those small shifts happen. But the question is just really around like the frequency, if it feels like we need two full meetings a month, or if you feel like we could move to one meeting a month.
I would say I'm okay with going to once a month, just because this meeting usually lasts like 30 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And I think we could have a fuller meeting if we met just once.
Thank you, Fatuma. Do you have thoughts, Jane or Grace?
No, my only thought is like maybe set the time aside and then if there isn't anything going on, would be easier to cancel than try to add one, but I don't have strong feelings either way.
Grace, do you have any thoughts?
I sort of like agree with Miss Sautel. It's, you can just schedule because I think that there are times during the year that we are busy, like during the
Mhm.
engagement sessions, particularly with
Sure.
when the legislature is meeting in the spring, which is also coincide with the budget development. So
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think if I knew also just like if it that people would be on board with canceling if we needed to, or if I felt like that we could condense two meetings. Because like I think like in June, we only need one meeting, right? At the end of the school year to do like a reflection. So maybe I could also just like work on the like the general overall schedule and figure out like where we know probably we only need one meeting and then to hold like in the fall. October, November, December, January, we know we need two meetings because of all the budget stuff that's going on and all the engagement that's happening. Okay, that sounds good to me. And then in terms of the timing of the meeting, Fatuma and Jane, I'm not sure if your schedule would allow, um, uh, but does this time work for you? Like, do you prefer to meet in the evening? Could you meet during the day? What options are available to you? I think still thinking about Monday though.
I mean, I'm pretty flexible, except that I do have that rehearsal in Gorham that starts at 7 when we don't have this. So
Okay.
I'm you know retired, so I have a lot of flexibility during the day. I'm
Living the dream, Jane, living the
I
dream.
know probably Fatuma does not, but I do.
Okay. Fatuma?
I'm available after 6 on Mondays.
Okay.
But then also would the finance be moving? Because I'm in finance for this.
Yes, I know that Sarah Bryden is also going to talk to you all about that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so that is really helpful. I know that the superintendent is starting to work on a draft of the calendar, so I will just relay this information um, to him. And like if finance moves, um, I also think like if we could start earlier so that we're not meeting so late on a Monday night, it would help me when I have to put my child to bed on the weeks that he's here during these meetings. So this is really helpful. I will take this to the superintendent, and we should be getting a draft by next Monday for us to look at the board retreat. Is there anything else that people wanted to make sure that we got to tonight? All right then. Then I am really thankful for all the work that happened in this committee this year. It does feel like we're really getting into a routine around community engagement, which, happened before COVID, but it's taken us a while to get back to this place. So I'm thankful to you, Dr. Valenzuela, and your team. Just the other day, my kiddo was just like, Mom, Colby was at my school. Colby was at my school. So, just really acknowledging how much your team is in the community and helping host all of these. So just grateful for that. Um, and I look forward to this next school year. So with that, I'm going to move to adjourn. Is there a second? Beautiful. Thank you, Fatuma. So all those in favor of adjourning? Okay, so we are adjourned at 8:15, and I will see you all tomorrow night for the board meeting. All right, take good care, everybody.
Bye.